lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Well, hello, Charles McCutchen here. I'm your favorite entrepreneur. And today on Charles's Corner, I'm going to bring y'all some insight and information on retirement. I'm going to give y'all some insight. I'm going to give y'all some information and let you know just 3 years. I can show you how to walk away from whatever you're doing in 3 years. And I know some people probably thinking that that's crazy, but it's all about what assets and resources that you're using so you can get there. So, as I said before, I'm Charles McCutchen. I walked away from corporate back in 2012, 14 September 2012 to be exact. And I've been running ever since, making moves, and it's been one heck of a journey, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've met a lot of great people. A lot of people have shown me different ways to do different things in my business world. I've created a number of different businesses, and I'm actually, after I create my businesses and they, get successful, I actually share the information that I receive along the journey, because I think there's no better tool that you can use than to share information or share the results of how you did it. I go to a lot of seminars, and I still see a lot of people go to seminars, and the seminars they're not really giving people what they need. They're talking at people, saying, hey, let me show you this great thing, this magic trick, or whatever they're going to give you, and they don't really show you how. I'm the show me how type of person. I would rather you show me how, vice tell me how you did it. So that's what I do. I'm more of let's show people. So if I was doing a real estate, I'd rather let's do a deal. Let's just actually get on the phone and talk to some people and actually do a deal. I think that's the best way to learn for a lot of people, vice just getting, information. Some instances, we have to just give out information, and then it allows people to go do more due diligence on whatever information they receive, and I get that part as well. But if you're going to be somewhere for, 2 hours, 3 hours, 3 days, I would hope in that period of time that they can actually teach you, by just keep talking to you about how great something is. And I've been to those events, and I know a lot of y'all have as well. And so today, like I said, I'm going to give y'all something. This can retire anybody. But then I'm going to go 3 to 5 years, but if you really put the work in 3 years to have money coming in to where you can go do that other thing that you want done. I did mine in real estate. So then I was able to do the nonprofit. I was able to do the government contracts, able to do I started studying marketing so I can get a better understanding of it, doing the assisted living so I can get a better understanding of it, going to commercial deals so I can get commercial real estate so I can get a better understanding, doing the cannabis so I can get a better understanding. So it allowed me to free up a little time so I can get a better understanding of these industries that, to me, are powerful industries that we can actually put sink our teeth into and make some power moves in it and get people along the journey. So today I'm going to talk about real estate, but I haven't talked about the commercial side, and I don't really talk about commercial too much, only because a lot of people just say, I just want to do my first deal and do a residential deal, and that's where a lot of people are. But today I'm going to tap into the commercial. I'm going to give you what I feel you need, and I will tell you, you don't need to graduate from residential. A lot of people think they have to graduate from residential so they can get into commercial. I will tell it to you like this. Residential is all about the lingo. Commercial is all about the lingo. It's all about the verbiage of how you do real estate. So I can speak to somebody, and I'll know if they know what they're talking about from residential to commercial, because there's certain key phrases and terms that we use in both industries, and it allows people to know that, hey, this person knows what they're talking about, or this person don't have a doggone clue. And I've been that person that don't have a doggone clue. But I continue to learn even now. Like today, I'm sitting there, I learned. That's what the best thing we can do, get the right information. And this is what I see across the country in different markets that I'm working out of. People come to me after they done spent $50,000. That's amazing to me. They done spent $50,000, $40,000, $20,000, and they come to me and say, hey, is yours free? I'm just like, I do have free information. You know, I put it out there for people to take it. Same information somebody just paid $50,000 for. It's crazy. But, you know, should I just start charging $50,000? I don't know. My prices need to be higher or something? It's just crazy to me how people, you know, go to these different events, and some of these events are not all that it's cracked up to be, and they spend all this money and then they come back with nothing. So I know some people that spend $50,000 and they come back 3 years later and they haven't done one deal. And I was just like, man, that is amazing. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's just different for different people. That's how I look at it. So for me, if I had the choice to pick between residential and commercial, I'm going to choose commercial every day. There's a bigger paycheck in commercial. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tap into commercial things, because with a commercial deal, one of your deals can be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, like one deal. And imagine if you look at the numbers across the United States, on average, across the U.S., people make $49,000 a year. So imagine you did one commercial deal and made $50,000. That'd be a game changer for you. You'd be in the six figures. You'd be a six-figure money earner, you know, minus the taxes if you do it the right way with the CPA or a tax strategist. So I'm going to provide information, and it's more just to get people to think. That's all. I'm more of a thinker. I want other people to think, and then I want people to take action. Do your due diligence. Please, please, please take whatever I say or anybody else. Make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure they have done what they're giving you to do. And to me, I tell people it's just information. There's no smoke and mirrors. There's no magic to this. It's some people know and some people don't know. And if you don't know, go find out, however you have to find out. So apartment buildings. When I'm talking commercial, I'm going to stick with the apartment building side of things. So you can look at investing in the stock market, you know, other businesses, other form of real estate. But apartment buildings, to me, is just number one. Family, we call it multifamily housing. You know, we can call it however you want to call it, but I don't call it commercial. I just call it multifamily, or the abbreviation MF. That's what it is. So you have more people that rent than own around the country. These are just reasons that I would rather do apartment buildings. Rents are steadily increasing, and if you look at the population of millennials, they've outnumbered everybody. And millennials right now, they just seem like they prefer to rent. Most of them want to travel, and they think that if they buy a home, then they got to stay there forever or something. I don't know what they think. So millennials are doing more renting, and investors in other parts of the world, they're like flying over here to get apartment buildings. And I'm just like, wow, why don't we watch what they're doing and why they're doing it? Most people do it because it's cash flow. Very lucrative. It's stable. It's safe, because if you have a 100-unit building and 5 people leave, you still filled up. You know, the building's still filled. If you have 10 houses and one person leaves, you got that house that's empty. So now you got to jump up and down. So the mentality behind apartment buildings is I'd rather have one roof than 100 roofs. You know, that's me. I'd rather have one roof. So imagine, like, in the residential side of things, make like $10,000 off a deal if you're just going to wholesale it, and that's just coming in. And that could be your cash flow for the month, depending on, you know, how the deal works. Now imagine you just fivefold that, and now you're bringing in $50,000 a month. It's just a different pot of money, you know, and everybody really needs to understand that. So one of the bigger reasons is when I did my residential, I used to have people paying my mortgage where I lived at. So I rented out houses, right? And so the houses that are rented out, it would be above the rent market, and the money that was above the rent market, I use that to pay off my actual mortgage. So the same thing in an apartment. They're paying off the mortgage, and you can't beat that when somebody else is paying the bill. I look at apartments as recession-proof because no matter what happens with the market, are we still going to live somewhere? Still going to live somewhere. People are still going to be renting no matter what happens in the market because the market is going to crash at some point. It's going to go underwater. Everybody's going to be frustrated or what have you, but people still going to rent from somewhere. They may not be living in houses, but they're going to rent somewhere. And the housing market or in apartments is based on income. And we call it net operating income, but you don't need to know all that. It's more of, when you run the numbers, is it going to produce a profit or a loss? It's all about a profit. And every year you can increase rents, even if it's $5. It can be increased $5. It can be increased $10. It's just all about how you increase what you do to improve upon what you're doing as far as your apartment complex, right? So why would we invest in apartments? Because, I truly believe it's financial freedom. If you get the right apartment, it can be a cash cow. I'm talking to people right now who had their apartments over 20 years. Right now I'm working on a 55-unit, a 12-unit, a 6-unit, and there's another 30-unit that's out there. The 55 units is like $2.7 million. Now, let me give y'all my mentality and how I look at this whole thing. A lot of people get scared of the numbers. I'm never scared of the numbers because I really don't care about the numbers to a certain extent to where I'm thinking like, man, I got to come up with $2.7 million. I don't think like that. I think like, how can I get $2.7 million? Do I know any groups with 100,000 people in there? Yes. Do I know a group with 2,000 people in there? Yes. So imagine you have a group. I'm just going to go low numbers right now. Imagine you have a group with 2,000 people. No, some of these groups, I'm going to go 20,000. 20,000 people, and that's kind of average for some of these groups that I'm in. Imagine if each of them had $1,000. But I'm going to go lower than that. 20,000 people at just $100. Imagine that. That's $2 million right there. So a lot of us, we don't look at I look at the bigger picture, and not everybody is going to be in on it, and I get that. Some people, they tight on $100. They tight on $50. Where's this $50 going? But they'll go spend money on a concert. They didn't spend $600 on a doggone concert. But if you tell them to invest $50 in something, they'll be like, oh, no, I need to know this, I need to know that, and where's it, where's that, where's this, and they'll grill you down and still won't do anything. So my thing with that is I just surround myself with people that want to move, and the rest of the people, it's they may come later, and that's okay. So there's a lot of mistakes that can go wrong. I mean, let's not just sugarcoat this thing and think people are just going to walk in there, let me get that apartment right there, and I'm good to go. That's not how it works. So there's a lot of mistakes, and a lot of people rush into their first deals, and I even had that with my deals. It doesn't matter. I mean, I had the guy who was like, hey, I don't have all the financial information on the property right now. So the guy was trying to rush me to close the deal. He said, hey, when you come here, I hope you're ready to close. And I was like, I haven't even seen the property yet. I don't even have all the financial information yet. So he's trying to pressure me to close the deal. I'm like, I don't even care about that stuff. I listen. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't have time for that. So a lot of people get rushed into their first deal, and a lot of people, I don't care if it's residential or commercial, they just want to get a deal, and their emotions get the best of them. And people say, well, I really like it. It's really pretty, and it's not about pretty. It's all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers and how everything looks on paper and what can be learned from the numbers, because the numbers tell a story. Even though they can be skewed, the numbers tell a story. A lot of people want to travel to all these exotic places to do real estate, and you can do it in your backyard. It's not that. I mean, if you only got training in your backyard, that's you can't beat that. You buy in a market that you know. You don't have to go to these places. I mean, I know it. I do it. but I know people in certain places that are on the ground that can actually help me out. And so y'all need to be the same way. So it's just mistakes. So a lot of people say they want to do real estate, but they do it this week. They don't do it for another 4 weeks, and they come back to it. So it's like they're really not doing real estate. And then people say, yeah, I've been doing it for 3 years. No, you really haven't. You've been doing it for like 3 days at one point, and you took about 4 months off, and you came back and did 1 week, not really doing real estate. There is no get rich quick, family. You have to understand that you got to pour into this, and this is how I look at it. We all have time. It's 24 hours in a day, and if it's important to you, you're going to make it happen. If it's not, then you're going to find an excuse to say that, it didn't happen because. And so all those people who pay for those programs, $50,000, whatever, $20,000, I don't know what they did, if they did anything. They might not have done a doggone thing. And so that's on them. Because if I pay $50,000, I'm all in. I'm just telling y'all what I know. The one thing I don't do, there's such a thing called war zones, and we already know it may be called the ghetto where you live at, the projects where some others live at. So you may have a property that's in a war zone that you can't even drive in there at night, and I'm not about that life. So I'm not dogging the projects. I started from the projects, but I understand. You just don't just buy things in there, and now your money is funny because you have to keep upgrading because they keep stealing everything. If that's the case for the area that you're in, or you look at the crime in the area, and it's like you got to go in there with the police. That's not what I'm trying to buy. So I just call it a war zone. So I figure out, okay, let's look at the areas that we want to buy in. I wouldn't buy in the middle of nowhere. A lot of people just, I got the deal, but it's like a 3-hour drive to get there. I don't want to drive 3 hours to get to this place because I want to be able to just drop by. Mine is like within an hour. I want to just drop by at night, during the day. I want to just see how things are running, even though I'm not going to run it myself. I'm going to have a property manager running that. I don't do that no more. So when you buy, and you got to look at some of these different cities. Some of these cities have like I'll take Detroit, for example, but yes and no for Detroit. They have like factory jobs, or you have some cities that only have like one factory in town. Like Ford is the only, everybody works at Ford. And if Ford were to leave, what's going to happen with your property? Are people going to be able to, are they going to be able to rent it out? Because now they're not making the money because the biggest game in town, Ford, is left. So you have to think of that. And so you have secondary towns. I like, towns that, like the one I'm working with is close to the biggest naval base in the world, Norfolk Naval Station. So, I'm all day, every day, and it's probably 10 minutes away from Norfolk Naval Station, the one that I'm looking at, the different places that I'm looking at. So, I'll take that because I know there's a lot of people that's going to be coming back and forth through there. So that's what I look at as well. I don't only invest in my backyard. I've invested in other states, but, I travel to those states, and I know people in those states, and all about people say, well, do you invest here? I said, well, if the numbers make sense, then, I'll entertain it. So I invest in my backyard. I have to be able to see the thing. One guy from Ghana, he said, hey, why don't you invest in Ghana? I said, well, I'm not traveling over there enough to want to invest in Ghana. And the way, I don't know what he was having me invest in, but I think it was a farm of some sort. But he said it was going to be $100, and in 3 years I'll make $160. That just didn't move me. And I explained to him, I said, that may not move a lot of people. Only making an extra $60 in 3 years, that may move somebody else. So I said, you may have to restructure how you present your plan to people to get funding to do whatever you're going to do. Some people take the seller's numbers as gospel when we're doing these deals. I have a spreadsheet that I put together and everything like that. And everything I'm telling y'all, I'm actually putting on my website as a course, so then you can have that information. There's a lot of content out there. So you don't have to write all this stuff down. It's just, like I said, it's just content. It's just information. But the seller gives you numbers, and these numbers, some of them they don't make sense, and they just gave me some numbers on that 55 unit, and they gave me some numbers to where they only accounted for 50 properties, and they told me it was 98% full, and I was like, well, where's the rest of the numbers at? But, it's neither here nor there, so you got to kind of make it up as you go to make it make sense as you're going along. So these are just things that people need to be aware of. So I buy property, but I'll look at the true economic value and the vacancy in the area. So if you have a property that's 55 units, I'm just going to keep going back to that one, and you only got 20 people that live there, I need to know why. You need to look at the property in the area and be like, why is this property only 20 people living here, and you got all these vacancies? So vacancies cause the numbers to drop, and it eats into your profit. So that's just something I look for. There's such a thing called pro forma. And whenever you hear pro forma in the commercial world, all you can think of is fake. That's what I think of when I think of pro forma. What it is, they give you what they call pro forma numbers, and those are numbers that they made up. In a sense, that's like our best guess is this. So our best guess is just pro forma. And they do that with a lot of different things. So it's like, ugh. So you have to go through and look at properties that's similar to say, okay, well, this doesn't even make sense. Why is it that, to give you a quick example, why is it that the insurance thousand for the year, but you have the insurance on another similar property that's a comparable property with the same number of units and in the same general area, and their insurance is $6,500? It's just, something that you need to be aware of, and just you got to ask the question, and you start going down and start diving in and figuring out what's going on with this. So what I'm giving y'all right now is, if you got into buying apartments, even if you partnered with people and you started to understand it and learn it, and let's say you made a $20,000 check, I will guarantee you one thing: that first check you get, I don't care if it's 10,000, 20, 30, 40, whatever, it's going to change your life. That will be a game changer. And you're going to start running numbers in your head, and you start looking at your job a little funny, and then you're going to walk in one day, and you're going to be like, I have an eye problem. And then they're going to be like, what are you talking about? You're going to say, well, I just can't see myself working here anymore. But I will tell you this. You don't just up and quit just because you made one check. Please don't do that. I have a video out there telling people if you want to leave corporate, and I broke down, how you can leave corporate. So I'm going to leave that there. So a lot of places have different contractors and people that fix on the property in place. And they might have been in place for 15 years. And I'm pretty sure, just like you at your job, we become complacent, and we've been at somewhere for a long time. So whenever I take over a property, I'm changing over everybody. I don't even care, because I need a fresh set of eyes, because, some people take their jobs. Some people may not look at some other things that others may not look at. That I'm going to keep it simple. So you have that one asset out there, and you just making money on it, and then they looking, bypassing stuff. As long as it's not broke, don't fix it type mentality. So that's why I like to get in a fresh new set of eyes, new contractors, new everybody, and then come in, and then we'll work the property that way. Most people don't ask for seller financing, and all that is just saying, hey, can I pay, do I have to pay $2.7 million? Can I pay $500,000? You're still going to have to pay $2.7 million, but it's going to be done over time. You're going to allow the asset to pay for it. So don't let the numbers get you all out of whack, because $2.7 million, nobody's just going to pay $2.7 million. On deals like that, you usually pay a percentage of that $2.7 million. It'll be 10%, 20%, whatever, but it's not like the whole $2.7 million. And there's reasons that happens with that as well. So a lot of people don't shop for deals. I'm a shop for deal-aholic type person. I'm going to work to find the best financing, that, the lowest financing. I want 0% interest. That's what ultimately that's what I want. And I don't get that, maybe not. I may get 3%, 4%, I don't know. But I'm going to shop around, and people are going to earn my business. Those lenders out there is going to earn my business. This is not get rich quick. This is studying on the weekends. This is studying when you get off work. This is applying the information that you receive and making it happen for you and yours. You have to start somewhere, and you can make excuses or you can make money. We can get it done. I'm still studying. I've been in real estate for over 20 years, and I still study. This Saturday, what was I doing? I was punching numbers. Did I want to do that? No. Everybody was at the basketball, the MEAC tournament, March Madness, all that craziness out there. I'm looking at people at day parties and enjoying themselves. But let me learn you on this one. Take 3 years and go all the way in, because I'm going to guarantee you something. We have to leave something to these kids. That's just me. You don't have to. That's on you, if you don't want to. But I say leave them something without worry. Leave something to where when you get to a point to where, I don't care if you're 40, 50, or whatever you feel like stopping, you can take your grandkids out and you can enjoy life. And the sad part is the way the economy is looking, people are working well into their 70s because we didn't plan. We're not planning right now. People don't have enough money saved to do anything. So you put yourself on residual and have that money coming in every month, offsetting everything, offsetting your taxes because you have a business at 1099. Now you put yourself in a different bracket. You put yourself in a different environment when you get to, let's say you get to 50 and you don't want to work anymore because you have residuals coming in. A lot of us take, working as gospel that we have to retire at 65. Ask the majority of people, when you going to retire? 65. But they don't have a plan. So it sounds good, but without a plan, it's just a number. You don't have to. That's our norm right now, 65, 65, 65. So what if you retire at 40 or 35? Does it really 25, 30? Does it matter? I mean, it matters to me, but maybe not to others. And some people say they're going to work the rest of their life. It's okay to work, but the goal is not to put yourself in a position to where you have to. That's all I'm saying. So, I'm just putting out information. So no matter what you do in the residential or commercial side, you're going to have a power team. Every time I talk power team, I talk lawyers. Every time I talk lawyers, I'm talking brokers. And brokers, they're going to make you broker. Now, brokers actually, there are some good brokers and there's some not so good brokers. You have to just find the ones that's going to work for you. Brokers are like real estate agents and realtors. That's all they are, to a certain extent. But on the commercial side of things, they can do some great things, and I work with some great ones out there, and I work with some that just not so good. So you just find out, but it's trial and error with everybody, even with lawyers. There's trial and error. Some lawyers don't know how to do some type of deals, and that's okay. So I just go to the ones that know how to do the deals that I want to do. The other thing I do is different deals out there. There's different sites you can go to get information. Stay on those sites and meet people and know how to speak the lingo and just be up front. And, if you don't know, you don't know. But you can fumble through it and not do a deal, and that's okay. I mean, it's better to fumble through it and do nothing at all. A lot of people want to be experts and want to be perfect. If you want to be perfect, I would say come back in about 5 years. Yeah, take about 5 years off and just keep studying. That's all I can tell you. Don't do anything. And then, the laws and everything else won't change by the time your 5 years is up. So you probably going to take another 5 years to try to figure out what you didn't know. And then, so now you're 10 years in, and now what? So it's more of just getting out there. So I look at properties that have been listed like for a long time. I use the internet as much as I can. I put myself in the tenant's shoes, like somebody that's living there, and then this is what I did. So I went over there a day earlier before I met the owner, and I talked to people. Hey, I'm thinking about moving over here. What's up with the area? So they're telling me about the area because they think I want to live there. And I just want to get a feel of what they think about the area. If they say, man, don't come out at night, shoot. I mean, who better that could tell me than the people that live there that's been living there for umpteen years? So a lot of us don't think big enough. We're just small time. Well, I just want this one unit. When if you got 100-unit property and the guy says, hey, just take over and you can have the payments that's coming out of the unit to pay me. What if they gave you that one? but you didn't ask the question. So realist to me, it's all about the lingo. It's all about the relationship and being able to negotiate and understanding what that person is going through. Why are they selling? I can tell you right now, it's a lot of elderly people who had these properties for the past 20, 30 years, and they want out. And so they're looking for somebody. And if you're not out there, they're not looking for you. But if you're out there and you're telling people, hey, I'm a real estate investor. I do commercial property. And now, well, maybe you can help me out, because I was thinking about it. And this is a prime example. I got a guy who's out here, Virginia Beach, Virginia. His wife wanted him to sell everything because they've been doing it for over 30 years. But he don't want to. But, the wife is going to win on that one. You better believe that, because she want to travel. And so you got to be the first in line to let them understand, like, hey, I want you to win, and let's do a win-win. So it's about networking, understanding who's out in the industry, being an investor. Be an investor. You don't have to have all the money to be an investor. You can be an investor and bring the money to the deal. You provide the money. And that's another thing that I'm going to go over, how to find private money. I'm not going to do it on this call. That's a whole other course right there, how to find private money. A lot of people give up too fast because it didn't go right the first time, or this didn't go right. But you have to be patient in these deals. Some of these deals take some time to massage it and put it together. Some people want all the information, all the content, to where when you get all the content and get confused, you sit there and do nothing. And that's what I see happening to a lot of people. They have too much content, and so they're not going to do anything, and they don't get the right information from the right people. The sad thing is, I'm sitting up there on social media. I put out so much content from real estate to assisted living, and I put like steps and documentation, and a lot of people just watch it go by, and they still be struggling for the last 3 years, just struggling. And the information is right there. And for me, I'm not going to pull anybody across this finish line unless they want to come. They're going to be able to walk themselves. I will lock arms with people and help them cross the finish line, but I can't pull nobody. I won't pull nobody. They got to want to do it themselves. They have to want it bad enough to where I can say, okay, I see you want it bad. I will help you get there. But you have to want it as bad as I want it for you, because you're going to take time from me that I can be building up my portfolio for my family, for my child, for my future generations. I have to continue to do that. So you don't have to do this business alone, though. You don't have to, but a lot of people are going to, and that's just part of. I don't know why. We feel like we're all in this by ourselves, and it's not that serious. You have to get out there. You got to look in your backyard. You got to say, okay, well, who can be on the ground there? You got to pinpoint certain people who can do things better than you. You're not the expert in everything. I know I'm not. I'm looking at the job growth in an area. I'm looking at the population. I'm looking at how many employers are in the area. I'm looking at, is the area growing? Is it declining? Is the area, has it been rezoned? Does the city have anything going on with that area? So I'm tracking all this different stuff going on, and I'm going to figure it out. The goal is figuring it out. So this is what I know to be true. If you were to want to be done working within 3 years, real estate on the commercial side is something that can change your life, like dramatically. I'm telling you, that one deal, now you're going to be looking at, oh my goodness, you're going to be sitting there saying, I don't believe it. I did my first deal, I made $20,000, and now life changes. I'm going to guarantee it. I am a product of what I'm telling you. That's all. I'm a product of what I'm telling you right now. So nobody can take it from me. So the information, I'm going to be posting that information on hiddengemconsulting.com. That's HIDDENGEM Consulting, CONSULTING.com. hiddengemconsulting.com. You can find me on social media, Charles McCutchen here. And my email is charlesmanspeaks@yahoo.com. This is how to be done working in 3 years. This is one industry. I got a few more industries I'm going to bring up. So it's finding an industry that's some of the top industries out there and actually becoming a student to that industry and really diving in. So it's all about what you want to do. If you don't like what you're doing right now, and studies show 70% or more people don't like what they do on a Monday. Ooh, they don't like their jobs. They don't like the people at their jobs, but they keep going. So the thing is, you keep going, nothing wrong with that, but now you got to figure out an exit strategy. And that's what I had to do. I will tell you, my exit strategy was to figure out a way. So I started going to a lot of events and talking to a lot of people and trying to get understanding of what it meant to be able to walk away from a six-figure income. Not many people can say they've done that. And I don't say that to brag. There's nothing to brag about. It's just that I made a choice. It was a scary choice, but my mindset is so different from where I was when I started. Because when I started that job, all I was doing is getting all these certifications. I'm going to be the best worker I could be. I'm going to get my PMP. I'm about to go up this ladder and become a senior associate. I was doing all that stuff, hitting all the right boxes. That's all I could do. And then my mind shift happened because I allowed people to come in and give me a different set of eyes. They gave me some new glasses, and that changed my whole world. I'm telling you, once you get a new pair of glasses, it's hard to go back. Once the brain or the mind expands, it can't go back to its original form, family. So a lot of y'all won't allow your brain to expand. I'm sitting there talking to a gentleman today, and he wouldn't allow his mind to expand. So I said, and just to give y'all a quick snapshot of the story, he said he's an audio engineer, and he's trying to get into these different clubs to do the audio for them. And, we're going back and forth, and he kept fighting it, and it was okay. And then I asked him the question. I said, well, if I looked at your social media right now, because I told him he needs to, get a following on social media and tell him what you can provide him. He said, but he don't do that. And I said, okay, well, we're talking right now about you not being able to get in the clubs because you said you're from this place called Virginia Beach, Virginia. And he said that's the reason he can't get in. And I said, okay. I said, but if I look at your social media today, if I was had a business in a club, if I looked at your social media, would I be saying, hey, I want that guy to come do audio for me? And then he paused for a second, and then he was reluctant to say yes. And I said, well, if you can do that, why are you saying it's hard for you? We really have nothing else to talk about. He said, yes, but. And I said, you said but. That's the wrong words to use. Either it is or it isn't. I said it's a yes or a no. And if not, then you need to change up how people see you. And he said, but that will change me. I said, no, I'm not saying change you as a person. You have to change your social media platform so people can see you as an audio. You said it yourself. You're an audio engineer. If I look at your social media, is it gonna scream audio engineer? And if it doesn't, you need to change it so it does scream that. And he fought back on that. And I said, let me give you the best way I can. You can make excuses or you can make money. Those are like the options that we all have. And I said, your mindset, your belief system is limiting you as a person to move forward. And if you don't want to accept information, then if you keep doing the same thing over and over, that's called insanity. We all know that. And if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. I'm going to leave y'all with that one. I do want to thank Ms. Kimmy Robinson for this platform, and we're going to keep moving this thing along with Elation Magazine as it started out and then to Elation Radio and whatever else is going to come up from that. And I want to pray us out there. Heavenly Father, I pray to you right now. Bless those who are going through the struggle. I'm praying for those that's listening to me. Dear Lord, I pray for their strength, and I pray for their unity, and I pray for their empowerment. And I know there are some that feel that life is coming at them very fast. They're frustrated. They may not have any money in their bank account, but they still have a dream. Dear Father, let them know that everything happens in your time. We know you'll provide the strength that they need to persevere. Father God, you are all-knowing, and we know we must believe and trust in you. We get weak at times, but we know we must continue and keep the faith in trying times. I know somebody that's listening to this right now is about to manifest their destiny and their glory all through you, Father God. And I pray for those who have lost sight. I pray for those who can use more strength than those who may be sick. Everybody else that's listening to this, say amen. I want to say, y'all, make it a power move. Link up with people. This is Charles's Corner. This is Charles McCutchen. I'm your favorite entrepreneur, and I'm out of here.
Hey, this your boy Fire Overseer. Hey, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm about that life. I'm going to tell you the king who gave his life. His name is Jesus Christ. Yahweh be the most. Yeah. Jesus Christ, he died for me. He paid, he went to Calvary, crossed his head, all work for me. Life. You know it. Jesus Christ, he died for me. Blood ball. He went to Calvary, crossed his head, all work for me. He paid the price. He showed it. Jesus Christ, he died for me. He loved me. He went to Calvary, crossed his head, all work for me. He went to hell. You know it. Jesus Christ, he died for me. And resurrected. He went to Calvary, crossed his head, all work for me. And he paid it. Salvation came to the Jews and to the Greeks. Jesus gave me the gospel, I took it to the streets. I never seen the light, I never seen the path. When Jesus gave me the hand, I took the holy path. I got my mind straight, the life I never lived. When people thought I was fake, I kept it so real. My life was real, but when I was gangbanging in the streets, I'ma tell you about the man I used to be when blood ball came in me. I got my life straight, holy man, he gave my life and I followed the path. My hands up in the hole, the king is the man. Jehovah Jireh and Elohim is the name. I call him my provider. He the man who gave me life when I was dead and I was drought. But a water gate, he begged me instead. And I'ma tell you what he did for me. Them blood and stains on the cross and yet he paid for me. My name Fire Overseer, I tell you what I be. And I'm a chief in this game, these people know it's me. And I was gangbanging and crippin' where I used to. I'm an OG in these streets and these people I'm used to. Jesus Christ, he died for me. He paid, he went to Calvary, crossed his head, all work for me. He gave his life, you know it. Jesus Christ, he died for me. Blood ball. He went to Calvary, crossed his head, all. Jesus Christ, he died for me. He loved me. He went to Calvary, crossed his head, all work for me. He went to hell, you know it. Jesus Christ, he died for me. And resurrected. He went to Calvary, crossed his head, all work for me. Yeah, he showed it. The blood on the hand and blood on the feet. He picked the cross, he carried it for me, and he seen me. He singing nation inside of me. He just don't see me. He singing never more than KD, and we gon' save you. You know about me. I'm taking gospel to these streets. Authority, dominion, and Mark 16 and 15. I'ma take it to the street, and these people don't know they miss me. Hey, you don't see the tree and ain't burn no fruits. God gon' curse your life. You people walk around, you losing it. Get your mind together, and I'ma tell you his name. You can call him El Shaddai, it's the Elohim. It ain't no Allah or Buddha, it's that Jesus King. And he that man gon' catch you slipping if you're slipping off your feet. You get your mind right and get it in that word. It's 66 books you need to catch it in your nerves.